All right. So Assembly member, can I get your first reactions to the results of the audit that was done on the EDD?
The audit just confirmed our worst fears and validated the frustrations that Californians are feeling about EDD. When you go through the report and you read it, you see why so many Californians are frustrated and why they couldn't get the help that they needed. When you look at the call centers, and less than 10%, and initially it was less than 1% of people actually being able to resolve their issues. There's a lot of things that need to be done to fix EDD. We need to reform EDD. That's why I've introduced legislation based off of the audit report to reform EDD, and that's Assembly Bill 56.
And what do you think can be done going forward to better prepare for future potential fraud?
When we look at EDD, we need to enact reforms. We know that when times are tough, EDD is going to be called upon. When Californians are hurting, EDD needs to step up to the plate. This is no different than what happened during the last economic downturn in 2008 and 2009 when people were filing for unemployment insurance. And EDD should have been better prepared. They should have learned lessons from the last downturn and have been more prepared for this pandemic. That's what we're going to demand of EDD, to institute these reforms, to come up with these plans, and to ensure that EDD is helping Californians when they need it most.
Okay. And then, so in the audit, it shows that EDD directed the Bank of America to freeze accounts of those who were seeking benefit payments. Do you believe this was an effective and fair way to prevent further fraud?
When EDD decided to freeze a lot of Bank of America accounts and preventing people from getting their benefits, I'm all for EDD implementing fraud detection, but when you're hurting people that rightfully deserve it, you should do everything in your power to make sure that people that are entitled to these benefits actually receive them. And they should make sure that the safeguards are there, that people aren't fraudulently milking the system, like we've seen with the prisoners to the tune of over $800,000, almost $1 million there. EDD needs to do better about recognizing potential problems, potential fraud cases, but then really legitimate people that are really hurting. And they need to go out and fix those problems so that people that deserve the help that they need get the help that they need.
What do you say to those honest Americans who are still waiting for, they applied for EDD and are still waiting in an integral way, are still waiting on payments to this day?
For people that are out there still suffering and waiting, I encourage them to contact your state representatives, contact our office. We've helped hundreds of people here locally in Kern County with their EDD benefits, helping them cut the red tape, helping them get the help that they're entitled to. I would say reach out. There's people that are willing to help, and we want to help you.
And how, if at all, has EDD responded to this audit or any of the assembly members or anybody who has gotten on them about this?
Yeah, so I'm chairman of the Joint Legislative Audit Committee. We're going to have a hearing in a couple of days in the Capitol to bring EDD and hold them accountable for their actions and ask them the tough questions. Like, what was the decision you made to freeze so many accounts? Why are people still waiting so long to get the benefits that they're entitled to? When the legislature appropriated a ton of resources and money so that you could hire more people in your call centers, why didn't the needle drastically uptick as opposed to just minimally? Those are the types of questions we're going to ask of EDD. And one, what are you doing to make sure that you're implementing reforms to help Californians now? What are you learning from this pandemic? What were the lessons you should have learned from the last downturn so that Californians aren't going without?
And from my own knowledge, this is like the largest fraud that we have seen in California. Do you know of any other prior EDD mass fraudulent scheme that had gone on?
Not specifically with EDD. I have to think. I'd have to look.
Okay. And then today, within the last hour, I've seen posted by Senator Shannon Grove. She announced the Senate Bill 39, which would require EDD to cross-match claims with prison records. Would you be in support of this?
It's currently in my bill, in Assembly Bill 56, where we have 4 things outlined. One is cross-checking any eligible EDD benefit with the CDCR website so that money isn't going to people that don't deserve it, like people that are incarcerated. Also making sure that EDD isn't sending out mail with full social security numbers, because we know that was an issue as well. It's going to have a lot of the reforms and recommendations in the state auditor's report that we called for, that I authored that letter and authored that emergency request. All of those elements are going to be implemented in my bill, Assembly Bill 56.
Now, is there anything else on this topic that you would like to go ahead and discuss or talk about, or let the public know to ensure them that you are doing everything in your power to make things right?
We know Californians are suffering. They're still waiting for EDD benefits. Know that help is out there. Know that your local representatives are stepping up to the plate to hold EDD and the administration accountable, that they institute reforms to make sure that this doesn't happen again. It's unbelievable that these problems have gone on for as long as they have at EDD. And we need to make sure that we're stepping up to the plate and we're going to fix them. We're holding them accountable. We're calling for hearings. We're introducing legislation so that this doesn't happen again, and know that we're on your side.
I